Good afternoon. Welcome to 3 o'clock with SAC. Give me a second while I welcome our Spanish-speaking neighbors. Buenas tardes. Gracias por estar con nosotros a las 3 p.m. con SAC. Ustedes que quieren acceso al programa de hoy en español, por favor, marcan el número que aparece en la pantalla, que es 425-436-6200. Cuando le contestan la llamada, por favor, comparten la contraseña clave que aparece empezando con el número 6, que es 627-682. Van a tener acceso al programa en español por medio de una llamada de conferencia. Ahí tenemos una intérpreta, Miranda, que está con ustedes. Thank you for being with us this Thursday, April 23rd, 2020 at 3 o'clock with SAC. My name is Tammy Rivera. I'm the Executive Director and Lead Organizer for Southside Organizing Center, SOC or SOC for our old school residents and leaders. Today we have a great forum for you and a guest. We have been coming to you since the coronavirus began. We haven't missed a day, as I had said over and over. Very proud of my board and staff for making that happen. And so you can access SOC in all the ways you normally did, except for we can't see you in person quite yet. We're looking forward to being able to do that with you again at your doorstep, at your meetings, at our meetings and events in the community as a whole. You can continue to call us at our number 414-672-8090, 414-672-8090. You can email us at soc@socmilwaukee.org. Also, I want to let you know that because we can't have the same access to you or you to us during this time, we're taking extra measures like this forum, this online community forum. We have a long-standing tradition of having forums, hosting forums to bring subject matter experts and the authorities and people in power into your realm to answer your questions and your concerns. And so at this time, instead of doing them every once a month or every 2 months, we're coming to you Facebook Live Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock, addressing several issues. One, any breaking news that impacts you because the information is coming so quickly and changes are happening all the time. We know it's hard to manage all that information, and so we're trying to gather that, look at it, prioritize it, and share it with you here. So we start the hour with any breaking news, and then we share any news related to coronavirus or information, resources, or ways that you can take action. And then we give you a civic update related to voting and the elections. Those of you who have been with us know that we have been addressing what we're calling the post-election trauma of the spring election that took place despite the risk to coronavirus and the safer at home order. And we're continuing to have our guests and others speak about it and collecting your questions, your concerns, and your comments. And you can find those collectively on our website. And so that you know, we created an entire page dedicated to information, resources, and ways you can take action related to coronavirus. And we're trying to help manage that information for you because it's overwhelming. But there you can go and find information on the latest updates from all the levels of government. You can find information if you're at home and your kids are at home studying, resources. Basic needs like food access, where you can get tested and free and reduced health care, where you go if you're a worker, an adult worker, and you need to file an unemployment. So we've done our best to try to keep up with that information and bring you that on that page. The other important part, because at the end of the day, we're grassroots organizers, is there's a section where you can take action um, on the issues that are popping up related to the election, to the census, to the coronavirus, things you can do to get involved and to give back to the community as well. Tomorrow, I want to invite you to make sure that you come back tomorrow. We have Senator Tim Carpenter with us, and we're going to end out the week with him. And then also want to make sure you know we have two guest moderators on Monday and Tuesday because I won't be with you. Our communications and digital manager, Marisol Diaz, and our civic engagement manager, Gabe Charles. And so I'm looking forward to letting them moderate and lead these sessions while I'm away. When I return on Wednesday, we have our health commissioner with us, Jeanette Kowalik, and ready to answer some of your critical questions about coronavirus. Um, and then the last thing I'd like to emphasize is that yesterday was the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. And if you were with us, you are aware that we launched a campaign. We do several cleanups every year, and because we're under the Safer at Home order and want you all to be safe, the staff got together and created a social distancing One Clean Community campaign. And you will be able to, those of you who are already out individually walking for air and exercise, or families who are out already walking for air and exercise, while you're doing that, we're encouraging you to do some pickup of our community. As you are well aware, the leaf pickup is delayed, and our Department of Public Works picking up garbage and recycling is strained right now. And this is the time of the year when all the snow melted and leaves all the debris in the community, on the sidewalks, right on the edge of the streets. And also, that combined with the leaves, we need to be extra mindful of so that we don't have sewer blockage, a sewer drain blockage. So we're hoping that you all will join us. Our goal is to have 100 families participate, um, doing 100 blocks and 100 bags of cleanup to keep our community clean and safe. And all of that while cooperating with the Safer at Home order. We have kits for folks who don't have supplies that include masks and gloves and a bag and a whole set of resource information for you. And those will be delivered with no personal contact to keep us all safe. And for those of you who participate, you're going to get a shout out in SOC's communication platforms. You'll get a certificate from some elected officials, and we have a partnership with the Keeping Greater Milwaukee Beautiful, um, and they are supplying some coupons as an incentive and a reward for your hard work to local attractions like the zoo. And so it's something, to feel like we're still community and that life continues and that we're keeping our community clean and safe. So we encourage you to do that, and you can find that on our Facebook page. You register, and then we'll get you rolling. Today, as I stated earlier, we have a special guest, and we've been featuring several special guests these last couple of weeks. And with us, we have our county supervisor, Silvia Ortiz Velez, and she'll be on. And while she comes on, I just want to share a disclaimer. The views and opinions shared today do not necessarily reflect those of SOC, as we like to create space and voice for the people in our community. And so we'll bring on County Supervisor Silvia Ortiz Velez now, and we'll be talking with her about our county resources. Hola, Silvia. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Tammy. Can you hear me okay?
We
I'm
can't
trying to,
hear you
I'm
quite
trying to,
yet. Let's see if we can get the sound going.
can you hear me okay? Testing?
We'll
Testing?
catch up with the sound in just a second. Keep saying hello.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Tammy?
We can
No,
see County Supervisor Ortiz
you
Velez.
can't hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just
Can you?
great.
Ah.
But can you hear me?
What I'm going to try to do is, while our production is working on that, we're going to try to give her a call because that has helped in the past in these situations when we needed to speak to our guests. So let me give her a call.
Hi, Tammy. Can you hear me now?
I can. So in times when we have sound difficulties, we use our phone as a backup. It'll have a little bit of an echo, but hopefully until Johnny figures out the sound issue, we'll talk this way if you don't mind.
Just glad I'm able to get through.
Ah, I think you're on now. So I'm gonna click off the phone.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yay.
Oh, great, great.
So
I'm
welcome
happy.
to 3 o'clock with SOC. We're so grateful that you had the time to join us today when our residents need us more than ever. What we're
Yes.
going to do now, Sylvia, is talk about where we're at the county in terms of things that have changed that you think are critical to bring up in response to coronavirus. That's our key topic. And then if you have any thoughts on the election that took place, we've been asking our guests to talk about the why, capital W, capital H, capital Y, of the elections despite the risk to the coronavirus and the safer at home order. So if you'll start with the coronavirus, we have about 25 minutes.
Okay,
You
great.
just share what you want to share and I'll ask questions as follow-up.
Oh, wonderful. Well, first I wanted to talk about our parks because there's been a lot of changes in our parks since the coronavirus. As you know, we have shut down the playgrounds because, we don't want people touching and then contaminating, cross-contaminating. So we've actually placed barriers around 113 parks, playgrounds throughout our park system. So we encourage people to still come into our parks, take a walk, just make sure you're social distancing. But what we don't want people touching common areas where they can, spread infection. So that's why we had to close down all the playgrounds. Also, this weekend we are going to be reopening golf courses. So some people might have an interest in that if they want to get out and get some exercise, but we will not be renting carts again. So what we're trying to do is relearn how to operate society in a way that reduces spread of COVID-19. So that's our goal going forward too in some of these issues. We have a lot to talk about as a county board. We have a lot of decisions to make and to how to relook at all of our operations and how we operate in order to stop the spread, to minimize the spread, but also to continue somewhat of a normal life. It's going to be a new normal. It's going to be a new way of living. For example, on our public transportation system, there's been a lot of changes too, Tammy. Did you have any questions about the parks for now?
How many did we have any parks closed or they're all open minus the closing of the playground?
Any of the playgrounds, so our community centers, so any indoor spaces are closed. So any areas where there can be cross-contaminating, where people can interact, have been closed. So our domes are closed. Our domes are closed. And for our districts, that's been something that has been noticeable, I'm sure. We've had to shut down our zoo, and for example, going forward at places like the zoo, we don't know how long the no gathering over 50 is going to be for. Some people say a year, and some people say until we have an actual vaccine, that recommendation of no one gathering over 50 is going to continue. So we're really going to have to make a lot of decisions and look at, how we're operating, even some of our cultural centers where we have a lot of people in spaces. So, I mean, we're not sure how we're going to go. We have a lot of decisions to make as a county board and a lot of discussions to have about a lot of things.
But right now, people can walk outdoor in the park
Absolutely.
as long as they're cooperating with the social distancing regulations.
That is correct, Tammy.
Okay.
We
So then
want
share
people to
about the
continue to be
transportation.
healthy. And then for
Yeah.
public transportation, there's been a tremendous amount of changes. At first, we went to Saturday, Sunday schedule. Now we're back to the regular schedule. But right now, the entering and exiting of the buses is in the rear. And that's to prevent any spread to the bus drivers. So any close contact. Also, we have a limit of 10 people only on a bus. So if a bus comes by and it already has 10 people, it's gonna keep going. So you might see a bus come by and you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait for the next bus. We're trying to reanalyze to make sure that we have more buses on more traveled routes, so we have less people waiting longer. But for now, that's our regulations when it comes to our public transportation system. And
Are all the routes? Go ahead.
this has been going on all over. These are recommendations from other transportation systems, and this is how they're operating all over the country in many places. So we're doing extra cleanings to our buses as well.
Okay, that's good.
And in the future, I wouldn't say it's beyond the realm that there would be some recommendation that people might have to wear a face covering on a bus if you're going to enter a bus. That's not impossible to say. That might be a future recommendation. We're not there yet, but it's possible that could be a recommendation.
Are all the routes still running, or are there reduced routes?
All of the routes are still running. Obviously,
Okay.
we're not going to have any frequent flyers because we're not having Summerfest this year. So all of those kind of routes are obviously not necessary. So all of the regular routes are running, and we're adding more more buses to certain routes that have more frequency, because after 10 people, the bus drivers are being instructed to keep on driving. So we have to maintain social distancing as well in the buses, and that's what the goal is. Yeah, inside, because you're in an enclosed space, and if someone sneezes and you're close enough, you could be infected with COVID-19.
And then the cost for the bus, I know for a period of time they were free. What's happened with the cost of the bus now? Has it gone back to its regular
for
cost?
right now? It's still free, but I think that ends in about a week. And hopefully tomorrow the county board will be taking a vote on our leadership. And so we'll then know what committee assignments, and we'll be able to conduct business. And there's a lot of business that we need to conduct.
That's a great point, because just this week, the leadership at the City of Milwaukee Common Council changed. And so tomorrow is the county supervisor-elect of leadership for your body as well.
It is.
And then who's contending for
the chair of the of our body, Marcelia Nicholson and Willie Johnson. So two very fine supervisors.
Yeah.
Two very fine colleagues of mine.
Well, that's very helpful information to share, because people are definitely wanting to know what the leadership, who's contending for leadership, and what that ends up being, especially in these times when leadership will be viewed with an extra sort of attention, even more during these times. Is there anything else at the county level you think people should know? We know about the parks. People can continue to go to the parks as long at the outdoor portions of them, as long as they agree to social distancing, is what I heard you to say. The buses are still free till next week. All the routes are up. However, only 10 people can be in a bus at the same time. So there will be passing by bus stops. They may pass you by if they're full, and people have to enter towards the back door in order to try to keep bus drivers safe.
I would like to say, Tammy, to whoever is listening, that it is so important that You only use the bus if you're absolutely, or travel anywhere, actually. You only leave your home if you absolutely need to. Our buses are not, we're hoping people aren't getting on and aren't going places that they don't essentially need to go, or to essential jobs that provide the services to the people that are safe at home. So we're really asking people, please don't use the bus. You don't know if you're infected. You might not show any symptoms. Please don't go on the bus unless you need to. Please, don't leave your home unless you need to. So besides that,
Good point.
we have, as you know, we have canceled all of our senior services. But we have increased our Meals on Wheels services. So if any of seniors are listening, please, you can definitely contact the county for our Meals on Wheels plan. And we are providing, we've really expanded that program. So we should be able to provide you with the services that can help you stay at home.
So what you're talking about is all the regularly scheduled programming for them is canceled, but the service to their basic needs of food have increased.
Correct.
Do you know what's happening with personal care for seniors or people who are homebound? Do you have any information, or could you come back with that another day?
I could get information on
Yeah,
that.
let's find out, because of course that is, how can you comply with a safer at home order if you're a caregiver for a person who has
Well, Tammy,
medical or needs? So it'll be interesting to get that information to the public.
yeah, it would be. I just want to share. My mother actually provides services. She's a nurse that goes to people's homes. And, when this first happened, I said, Mom, because she's older and she's got diabetes, but she was a nurse for 35 years. And I said, Mom, I really don't want you to go house to house. I really don't want you going anywhere. But she wears a mask. She's got 35 years of being a nurse and knowing how to protect herself. But what has happened is that her load of people to see has increased. And some of the people that she sees, I mean, they would literally die if she didn't come see them, because she checks their diabetic she gives them their diabetes. And so I know it's been hard for homebound people, but I will get more information. I would love to do.
We'll have you back another day, or maybe someone from the department you could bring on with you.
That would be great.
Maybe we'll dedicate a segment completely to our elders and our seniors.
I can invite someone from DHS, Mary Jo. She's the director, and we can ask her more questions.
That would be great. Please do. I have her on my list of people to invite. So if you would do it, that would be great. She can talk to us overall, and then maybe we can get your senior department in here as well. Before we leave, do you have any thoughts you want to contribute to the special edition that we've been talking about, which is the why of the spring election, despite the risk to the coronavirus and the safer at home order? You have any thoughts you want to share on that topic?
I do. I have a lot of mixed feelings about the entire thing. I don't believe it ever should have happened, the election. Every other state in our country delayed elections, and as to no bad consequences. So I think there's no reason why we shouldn't have delayed elections. With that being said, I was very disappointed to see every single early voting location shut down for a whole week in our city. I think, and I know that the entire time we could have been doing early vote or curbside voting from all of those early voting sites for that entire week. We could have been voting that entire week from all the early voting sites, curbside, which has totally been legal in our state. It's a tool we have that we can utilize, and we ended up utilizing anyway. So I really feel that there was a lost opportunity of a whole week of voting, although I'm glad the way the results ended for the Supreme Court race. That's my personal opinion. I also very disappointed that there were only 5 voting locations that were kept open. I feel that there was a lack of leadership and voices being heard on that issue. There were originally I feel like there could have been a lot more polling locations left open. That would actually, we could have did actually curbside voting in a lot more locations, and that could have freed up more staff in manning an indoor facility. So I think it could have been handled in an entire different way, and to encourage more people to actually come out, vote, and do it in a manner that would have been more safer. So although I commend all the people, when I seen the lines of the people, a lot of them were wearing masks. I noticed in a lot of the photos, there were a lot of people that were social distancing as much as they could. So I was happy to see that, but at the same time, I was proud to see so many Americans, and so many people stand in line. It brought me to tears. It was a very emotional day for me. I cried many times because I realized what was on the line, and people's lives were on the line. So it was really hard for me. But I watched how brave people were, and that really moved me. So
Yeah, it
really
was
mixed
very
feelings.
moving. We have to pray folks don't get ill or die, even though we've already had some reports.
Exactly.
Before you go, as a thank you, I want to share all the people saying hello. Hi, Lily Ramos. Um, we have some of our staff. Jerry Carr said hello, Sylvia.
Hey, Betty.
Yolanda Ramirez. And so just some folks saying hello. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for your time, and we'll be back with you another day. Be
God bless.
safe.
God bless everyone.
Gracias.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Grateful for our leadership participating with us across our local government and our institutions and our social justice civil rights leaders just really coming forward to make sure that they can be with you. Right now, we'd like to invite Gabe Charles, our civic engagement manager, to give us some updates on voting and the census.
Hi everyone, my name is Taylor and I am the coronavirus coordinator with Southside Organizing Center. Thank you so much for joining us on today's community forum. Tuesday, the Milwaukee Common Council created a specific citation to give to people caught violating the Safer at Home order, which was extended by Governor Evers to Tuesday, May 26, 2020. Under the ordinance, violators can be fined $500 and jailed up to 20 days for lack of payment. A statement by Alderwoman Chantia states that after weeks of encouraging residents to do the responsible thing and stay at home, it is possible and it is clear that there are those who do not feel they need to abide by these orders. This has been on display recently in Brookfield when hundreds of protesters filled the streets and with reports of business owners declaring that they will reopen their businesses before it has been deemed safe to do so. She stated that it was the acts of this past weekend in mind that she proposed an amendment that allows the city flexibility to enforce the safer at home orders as needed. The council's public safety committee stressed arrest is the last resort. Officers will have leeway to determine whether a warning or citation is more appropriate, which of course leads to the question, what warrants a warning and what could lead to jail time? Alderman Bettis also released a statement regarding the ordinance. He states, quite simply, this action does not affect the range of options and discretion for law enforcement for enforcing the safer at home order related to COVID-19. Alderman Bettis says, what it does is it allows a middle ground for citations to be issued. If you're traveling to visit your parents or just heading to or from the store or working in your yard, this will not impact you. But if you're attending a party or hanging out with a large group on the corner, non-essential activities, a citation could become an option for officers as you are clearly not abiding the stay-at-home order. The alderman says, we want to emphasize the importance of educating the public about the stay-home order, but where it is needed in rare circumstances, there also must be an option for arrest and pursuing criminal charges when individuals are willfully violating the order, he said. So as of April 22nd, according to the city of Milwaukee, there are 1,746 confirmed cases of coronavirus and 94 deaths in the city of Milwaukee. Please, we encourage you to go to socmilwaukee.org for more information. You can read more about the Safer at Home Act and the ordinance. It is available in English and in Spanish. And you can read more about the coronavirus and what other resources we have for you. Thank you again. My name is Taylor again, and we're going to pass it back to Tammy. Thank you.
I keep getting the coronavirus segment and the civic engagement segment mixed up for you this week. I don't know why. We'll try to get it together for you on Friday before I leave. That was Taylor Herrada, and Taylor plays two roles for SOC. She is our youth coordinator, and she has taken on the added responsibility of being our coronavirus coordinator. I believe she has another update of breaking news today from the governor's office, and we'll see if we can bring her back on now to share that piece.
Hi, everyone, again. My name is Taylor. I'm the coronavirus coordinator. This just in. Governor Tony Evers and Wisconsin Department of Health Services Secretary Designee Andrea Palm today signed an emergency order relating to the operation of an alternative care facility, also being called an ACF, at the Wisconsin State Park in West Allis. This new alternative care facility at State Park will provide a critical role in helping hospitals to maintain the plus surge of capacity while providing a safe location for low acuity COVID-19 patients to isolate and recover, which of course we know are essential aspects of federal guidelines and federal guidance for the Safer at Home Act. Tony Evers stated that he wants to thank all the individual and organizations who have worked tirelessly over the past few weeks to not only construct a temporary medical facility, but also bring on board dozens of healthcare professionals who will care for the patients at the ACF. Governor Evers stated that the ACF will soon provide an additional tool to the Southeast Wisconsin region to expand the continuum of care for individuals who have tested positive for COVID-19. All individuals, of course, are encouraged to do the following: stay at home as much as possible, cancel events, avoid groups, gatherings, play dates, and non-essential appointments. As I stated earlier, they did pass an ordinance to start ticketing people for $500, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. Make sure to stay at least 6 feet away from people when possible. Practice good hygiene. Avoid touching your face, your eyes, your mouth. Cover your mouth or nose when coughing or sneezing, and to continue to visit the our SOC Milwaukee coronavirus page for any additional resources and coronavirus information. Just want to let you know of that new news. We'll continue to keep you updated on the construction of the alternative care facility at Wisconsin State Fair Park. Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor, for that up-to-date information. This is exactly what we're trying to accomplish with the online forum, to bring you all the latest information, because it changes almost daily. And a good use of our State Fair Park now that it can't be used for other things. In that same statement, the governor's act shared some updates on overall numbers. And so I thought that would be interesting to add and share. Worldwide, he states that there are 2,471 plus cases tested positive. In the US, there's 802,000 plus. In Wisconsin, 4,800 plus. 65 of the 72 counties have verified cases. According to that statement, Milwaukee County has 2,300 plus, and as Taylor just shared, we in the city have 1,400 plus. According to those numbers, in our county, we've had 142 deaths, and in the city, 94 deaths. And all the more looking forward to talking to the Milwaukee Health Department Commissioner, Jeanette Kowalik, about what's happening with COVID. Want to say a couple of hellos to folks who joined us. Stacy Carlos. The rest I said hello to already. Thanks for being with us. Some of you are really faithful soldiers and continue to be with us on all our shows or almost all shows. Hi, Stacy. See you there. Now it is time to bring on Gabe Charles, our Civic Engagement Manager, to give us an update on voting and the census.
We got a lot of really great info today from County Supervisor Silvia Ortiz Velez and then also from Taylor. So thankful that they were able to be on the show with us today. I'm just going to give some brief updates happening at the state level. Yet another lawsuit filed in the conservative majority Wisconsin Supreme Court was filed, this time by state Republicans who claim that Governor Evers' administration is overstepping authority by extending the Safer at Home order. And so this lawsuit that was filed would block the extension of the Safer at Home order. And according to a CBS 58 news story, Evers responded to this lawsuit saying that it signals to the 4,600 people in the state of Wisconsin who have contracted the virus and to the families of the 242 people that have died that those who filed the lawsuit care more about power than they care about the health of Wisconsinites, in Evers' words. And so there's another week for all challenges and arguments to be filed with the Wisconsin Supreme Court. So entities like DHS can file challenges or arguments to the lawsuit, and we will know more on April 30th in a week. And then this just comes at a time where conservative groups are planning rallies in Madison again to protest the Safer at Home order. So those are things that are happening. In lighter news, I want to announce that tomorrow we will be having a segment where you can fill out your census with SOC. We'll have a video that shows the step-by-step process of how to fill out the census online. So come ready with an additional device, a phone, a tablet, laptop, computer, whatever you have available, and you can fill out the census live with us while watching the step-by-step tutorial. And then staff will be ready to answer questions that you comment live. And just think about this now, maybe we could have a challenge where if you finish the census and then you can take a screenshot of the page saying that you completed it, you can submit that to us for a chance to win a $25 gift card that we've been giving out. So I can talk to my team about that after this, but I think that'd be a really cool thing to do so that we can all get counted for the next 10 years. For today, I just have a video for you all that gives a little bit about the history of the census, the purpose, and a little bit about the process of how it is done and completed. So I will ask that that video gets played and just remind you that we will be here tomorrow. Like I said, fill out your census with SOC, and I look forward to helping all of you through that process. I will see you all tomorrow once this video gets played.
Welcome to the 2020 Census. This video will introduce you to the 2020 Census, present a quick overview of the online questionnaire, and help you answer the questions. The 2020 Census is a count of every person living in the United States. The census is required by the U.S. Constitution and takes place once every 10 years. The 2020 Census is very important. Your responses help to determine the number of seats each state has in Congress and guide how more than $675 billion in federal funding is spent in communities each year. The 2020 Census is easy. Completing these questions only takes about 10 minutes. You can respond online from a computer, tablet, or mobile phone 24 hours a day. You can also respond over the phone or using the paper questionnaire. If you respond, we may not need to send a Census Bureau interviewer to visit you. An interviewer may still visit if you respond late, if we have follow-up questions, or for other surveys. Your information is confidential. Federal law protects your responses. Your answers can only be used to produce statistics and cannot be used against you by any government agency or court. Now we will take you on a quick tour of the Internet questionnaire. Step-by-step instructions will be provided later in the video. When you visit my2020census.gov, you will log in using the Census ID from the materials that were mailed to you or left at your door. We will ask you to confirm your address and provide your name and phone number. Next, we will ask you to count how many people will be living or staying at this address on April 1st, 2020, and list the name of each person who will be living or staying at your address. We will also remind you to include people that might have been missed. We will ask whether the home is owned or rented, and who owns or rents the home. We will ask each person about their sex, date of birth and age, Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origin, and race. When there is more than one person at an address, we will ask how they are related to the reference person. Finally, we will ask whether anyone sometimes stays at another address.
We're doing our best here, thank you, Gabe, and her civic team, to share with you in all kinds of ways information about election and voting and the census so that you get all your questions answered and become super familiar with it, and it will be easy for you to do. As you saw in the video that was shared with us, it doesn't take a lot of time to do, but it does have a huge impact in the next 10 years. And I really appreciate the team who has brought Super Census in to do the rah-rah regarding the census, and he walked it through for you to have that perspective, and then now a close-up look, and then tomorrow Gabe will walk you through it while you do it on your phone or your computer. And so really just trying to give you all the ways that you can get that completed. Right now, we'd like to have Marisol Diaz, our Communications and Digital Manager, share with us about the drawing for a gift certificate.
Hi Community Forum, Marisol here. For this week, April 20th through the 24th, the only way to enter our $25 gift certificate drawing is by filling out the survey that's located in the comments section. Make sure to do that. Thanks so much for tuning in. Now let's find out who's today's winner.
Today's winner is Dory Zielinski. Dory, if you're on with us, please contact us at soc@socmilwaukee.org. Your emails to that address for us get your certificate redemption going. So please make sure if you formally won in the days prior or recently, today, Dory, that you send us that email. That's what triggers the process of getting you your certificates. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for those surveys. As I've encouraged you all week, we really need that feedback because this is a new way of us engaging with you, and also because we have accountability to share with those people who invest in the work that we do, and we do that through surveys. I want to remind you to be with us tomorrow with Senator Tim Carpenter, and that next week we'll be changing things up a little bit, so you'll want to be with us Monday and Tuesday as Gabe and Marisol moderate while I am gone. And then on Wednesday, we have our Milwaukee Health Department Commissioner, Jeanette Kowalik, with us, and really excited about having her here to provide direct information about the local efforts around coronavirus. So thank you for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock with SOC. And right now, as we end, we'd like to share with you those partners who have partnered with us financially in order for SOC to serve you, and also for the work that we needed to do to respond to coronavirus, including this forum. So we'll show those thanks today.
SOC viewers, we would like to thank everyone for supporting our 3 o'clock with SOC live show and for completing our SOC surveys. In addition to thanking all our residents, we would like to say thank you to our following sponsors. Wisconsin Voices, Community Development Block Grants, Neo Philanthropy State Infrastructure Fund, Movement Voters Project, Catholic Campaign for Human Development, Tides Foundation, the Silber Foundation, City of Milwaukee Office of Violent Prevention, City of Milwaukee Promise Zones, and all our faithful individuals who support SOC through donations. Thank you.